crafty lovelies, I'm Lainey. Let's start crafting and make it till our eyes smile. That's what I like to say. I hope you subscribe and hit that bell and click all so you're notified every time I upload a new video. You can also visit me at Krafty Lainey on my social media. Okay, crafty lovelies, this was my inspiration for our wreath today. This beautiful picture of Emily, the corpse bride. I looked up corpse bride free printables, and this is the one I chose. And if you don't have a printer, you can always go to the library and you can do printouts right there, and they do color. I used to do that a lot before I had my printer. So, doing it at the library, if you don't know exactly how to print them out, go to the person at the desk and they're happy to always help you through that. I'm also going to be using this gold goblet that I got from the 99-cent store. It's actually a clear goblet, and I painted it with different tones of gold. Now it's time to spray paint our wreath. It's an 18-inch grapevine wreath from Walmart. The brand I'm using is Rust-Oleum, and the color is matte black. I only did the front, the inside, and on the sides. I did not do the back of the wreath. While my wreath is drying, I started to work on the rest of my items. I'm using this wood round from Walmart and painting it with Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster. I just do a very light coat on the top of the front and on the sides. Once the wood round was dry, I placed it on top of my picture. I lift it up to the light just so I can make sure and outline where I wanted to trace my circle. Once your circle is traced on your paper, that's when you pick your paper up and cut it out. I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to put a light coat on the wood round where we painted it with the plaster paint. It's very important that you use a light coat of the Mod Podge just so it don't soak straight through your paper, just so your image doesn't get ruined. I then get a piece of plastic and put it right over my plaque, and I'm just going to rub all the little air bubbles, if it has any, out. You can use saran wrap at this point, or you can use any plastic wrapping. I like to save mine and I open them up, and that's what I like to use. You'll see me press on it and kind of move my hand back and forth, it's kind of like an ironing. You're ironing out the wrinkles. I always like to check my edges and make sure that they're sticking. If they are not, I add a little bit of Mod Podge underneath and then press it again. Now we're going to let it fully dry. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm using this fun Mod Podge with glitter in it. It makes it more easy to use instead of having all the glitter dust all over the place. And I find this easier to work with. I just get a paintbrush and I put it inside the Mod Podge, and I just kind of dip it in there, and it brings out so much glitter. Look at this. And it's so easy because it's already gluing as you're going along, and it dries clear. Yep, crafty lovelies, it dries clear. So I am in love with this stuff. Great for little touch-ups and where you want to put, on the little butterflies and on her pretty veil. And I thought it just turned out beautiful. Isn't it such a lovely touch? Nice touch of sparkle. After my plaque was dry, I then got some more of the Mod Podge, and I'm just going to go over it one more time on the top, the whole thing, and not a lot, just very lightly. I then place the plastic on top again and just press out all the little bubbles. Once it was fully dry, I got my sander block and I just sanded the edges, and that is a great way to make your circle and all those pieces that are hanging over. Just remove it. You don't have to cut it or anything. Just sand it off. And look at how nice that turned out. Oh my gosh. I did add some more paintbrush strokes on there and added some little highlights to her nose and stuff just to kind of make her pop out a little more. The skeleton hand I found at my grocery store. And yes, I know it's a right hand side and we need a left hand, but we're going to do with what we got, right? That's just what we do. We improvise and we make it work. That's what us crafters and DIYers do. So next we're using some wax. It's folk art wax. It's in brown and a little bit of water. I mixed them both in a dish. And I'm just going to wipe this little skeleton hand just so it gives it a little more texture where you can see all the little lines and the bumpies on it. I don't know, I think it makes it stand out a little more and it, kind of fun. Remember, Emily's hand came out. She had out of the dirt, it looked like a branch. So I wanted to maybe darken it, maybe look a little more weathered. I then get a piece of material and I'm just gonna cut it up any old way just so I can make a weathered looking glove for Emily. I used the wax that was already left over on that little rag and it seemed to be just enough, just what I needed to make it look a little dingy. I chose to use different colors of blues. I will list the colors that I used to put on the glove in my description box for you. You keep doing this until your eyes are smiling and your heart is singing and you're happy with the way it looks. Now it's time to hot glue our glove onto Emily's hand. This part is simple. Glue it any old way. Don't worry about how it's glued on. Remember, she is a corpse bride. She was buried. She popped out of that ground and her glove didn't look perfect. When you watch the movie, her glove is not perfect. It's torn, it's dingy. Man, the girl's been through some things. What's your favorite Tim Burton movie? Or what's your favorite part in The Corpse Bride? Leave it in the comments. I'm just curious. Share with the other crafty lovelies. For the final touch for Emily's hand, I'm going to be using this Nickelodeon Model Light Air Dry Clay. Use some baby powder or some powder for your hands, some kind, because it is a very sticky clay. I just took a small bit of clay, rolled it in my hands, and then I just rolled the rest on my table, took a little piece of it and wrapped it around the finger, and then closed it up. Don't worry about what the back looks like when you close it up because you're not going to see it. Once the ring was dry, I painted it with Treasure Gold by Folk Art. I just focused on the front of the ring, not in the back, when I was painting. For the bow, I'm going to be using this striped ribbon from Walmart. Also this Hobby Lobby ribbon, it's a sheer ribbon. The tulle from Dollar Tree. And this webbing ribbon from Dollar Tree. For the tulle ribbon, I looped it about 6 times, about 8.5 inches. I folded in half evenly and put little snip marks on each side. Then I take a chenille stem, wrapped it in the middle tightly, and then fluff it out. When fluffing out my ribbons, I'm always grabbing one side and then I pull it, twist to the right side, and then I grab the other and pull it, twist, and pull it to the left side. You keep doing this to all your loops and you will have a fluffy bow. For the black ribbon, I do the same process. I just loop it, fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut both sides with small little snips. But this time I'm going to be using the chenille wire that I put on the tulle ribbon. And that's what I'm going to use to tighten it in the middle of that black bow. I loop it a couple of times while I'm tightening it, and then I start fluffing out my ribbon. For the stripe ribbon, I just looped it once and then snipped each side also. And again, I use the same Chanel wire that I used for the bows for this ribbon. And I tighten it by twisting a couple of times where it's closed, and then open that ribbon up. I decided to cut each loop of that bow in half. I then lay it on top of the black bow and then twist it shut with the Chanel wire, the same as I did the other bows. I turned the bow over and pulled those Chanel wires to the back and then twist. I then cut each of the stripe ribbons in half by cutting them down the center. We are going to trim our ribbons, and I do them in different lengths. To add the webbing ribbon, I did about 6.5 inches length, fold them in half. I twist the bottoms, added some hot glue, and then I tucked them in between the stripe ribbon and the black ribbon. This bow would be perfect for a Haunted Mansion wreath, Alice in Wonderland, and our Corpse Bride. To place our bow on our wreath, simple. We just push those Chanel wires through the grapevine sticks. Then you're going to twist them very tight. You can trim the excess off, or you can tuck it into your wreath. Now, crafty lovelies, I really like to place my flowers. I cut them all and then I place them and kind of get an idea where I want them to be. And then once they're placed and my eyes are smiling and my heart is singing, that is where I glue them. Sometimes they glue exactly where you have them, and then sometimes they glue a little different, but it's in that area. Sorry about that. That was Scraps just saying hello. All these flowers are so beautiful. And believe it or not, crafty lovelies, they all came from the Dollar Tree. Yep, the Dollar Tree. So pretty. Very happy with the way these flowers all looked. The colors just complemented each other so well, especially for a Corpse Bride wreath. I'm so loving those beautiful cream color little carnations. They look so pretty blended in with those colors. And these little berries are beautiful. Perfect. Now to add the goblet to the wreath, we're just going to glue a Chanel wire right to the goblet where it touches the wreath. I put a little piece of ribbon just so it kind of adheres better. And I'm going to do the same thing to our little skull hand, our Emily hand. Put some glue, a Chanel wire, and a piece of ribbon. Let the glue set and dry just to make sure that it is strong. You have a strong hold. We then put the Chanel wires through the grapevine wreath, and we're going to pull them through, twist tightly, and then I'm just going to tie it in a knot, and then I trim. To place our goblet where we want it to sit, I put it right into Emily's hand. Sorry for the shaking. I didn't realize until after I was done filming it was hitting my tripod stand, so I do apologize for that. But I do the same thing. I push the Chanel wires through the grapevine wreath and then tie it again in a knot. To add our plaque, we're going to glue again a Chanel wire just to the bottom of the plaque with a piece of ribbon, again to adhere it, and then push the Chanel wire stems through the grapevine wreath. Sometimes the Chanel stems can be a little difficult to pull through, sometimes, and when that happens, I like to use some tweezers. I twist tightly, tie it in a knot, and then we trim. We're going to take Emily's hand and where her wrist is, and we're going to put a generous amount of hot glue, press down and hold, and let it dry on the plaque. These flowers I found at the Dollar Tree, And we're just going to use the flowers. They look, I don't know, they're butterflies, flowers. I don't know. To me, they look like butterflies. Yeah. So I thought this was perfect for this project. And just took them off and glued them right there by the goblet. I wanted it to look like the butterflies in the movie were coming out of the goblet. I then decided to add some berries on the left side of where the bow was. So pretty. Next, I added this cute little dome that I made with a cute little butterfly I painted. I got the dome from the Dollar Tree, and I just took one of those butterflies and painted it. It reminded me of Victor's butterfly in his jar in the beginning of the movie. I wrapped some black floral wire to the bottom of the base and glued it in the back. I'll be sharing a video how to make Victor's butterfly in the dome and this cute little maggot that is Emily's little friend. My daughter-in-law Bella made this cute little maggot friend of Emily's. Next, I'll be filming so you can learn how to make him for your corpse bride wreath. I can't wait to share that with you, my crafty lovelies. This video is part of Spooktacular DIYs hosted by So Kate and myself. Please check the description box for the host and the playlist link. Happy crafting, lovelies! Oh my gosh, I am so in love with the way this wreath turned out. So beautiful. The hand and the goblet with those butterflies coming out. Should I add some glitter to those butterflies? Let me know in comments what you think. And that bow just screams Tim Burton all the way. I love the softness of the bow and how it looks elegant because she is a bride, our corpse bride, Emily. Well, I hope you enjoyed what I made for you today, crafty lovelies. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I so appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And thank you for all your wonderful comments. I so enjoy all the love and the comments you give me. I can't even explain how grateful and thankful I am for each and every one of you. Thank you. It was my pleasure crafting with you, crafty lovelies. I do hope you subscribe, and if so, hit that bell and click all so you're notified every time I upload a new video. You can also visit me on my social media at Krafty Leanie. Hugs, kisses, and fairy dust wishes, my crafty lovelies. Be kind to yourself and others. Stay blessed. I'll see you in my next video.